The first item on the agenda is an executive session. If the board goes into executive session, it will adjourn executive session to go back into open session. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Motion's made and second to go into executive session. Trish, can you read the paragraph about executive session?
Sure. Executive session pursuant to the Mass General Law 30A, Section 21A, exemption number 3, to discuss litigation strategy with respect to the case of Mimi's Place LLC, the Board of Health of the Town of Ayer et al., Middlesex Superior Court, CA 2181 CV 01197. If discussing the matter in open session will have a detrimental effect on the town's litigating position, and the chair so declares.
And the chair does declare. So the motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of going to executive session? Ms. Peters?
Yes.
Ms. Papineau?
Yes.
And Mr. Slarski? Aye. So the board will be in executive session, will adjourn to go back into open session. So we will be in executive session as of now. Welcome, everybody. Just as an announcement from the executive session, the board has tentatively scheduled a public hearing regarding the temporary motel hotel permit that was issued to Mimi's Place in February of this year. And that public hearing on the license will be on November the 10th at 5:30 in the evening. And again, I say it's tentatively scheduled. Anyone that's interested should check the town website for the notice of the public hearing. Anything to add, Pam or Trish?
It'll be in the newspaper too. It'll also be,
yeah.
Public notice will be in the newspaper of it as well.
Okay. So with that being announced, and we're back in open session, is there anyone from the public or any public input? Hearing none. The next item on the agenda is review of the solid waste trash hauler regulations.
Yes, so I did pull out the regulation and what I had done last March, where I was trying to match our regulation up to the new information that we had from Laurie Sabal and Irene Condi. And so there's only a couple of places that we don't match up with their request, but I'm not sure if that's actually costing us anything in recycling points, or I'm not sure if they were things that we must add to the regulation in order to get the maximum recycling points, or if they were, nice to have to take it further in the direction of supporting recycling. So Bridget, though, also wanted to look at the hauler regulations, because I think she's looking at it from the perspective of, is there anything that we should be thinking about modifying for like things that she would be aware of as Neshoba versus, just us seeing town of Ayer. And I haven't connected with her. She was unavailable or is unavailable for this meeting. So I think the best thing for me to do is send my summary again. And again, it's unchanged since last March. So I can include you on other board members on that message as well. So you can see what I'm saying, where I think that we have almost everything covered, and I can just see what input, if any, Bridget has at this point with, COVID and, with public hearings and whatnot going on. We might not be able to get any changes in time for the applications to go out for December renewals anyway. And a couple of the items on the I think want to have, not must have list. We're adding some things to the application. So to make the haulers notify residents that they will not pick up anything if it appears that trash and, you know, if visibly it's obvious that recycling materials and trash materials are mixed. That's not currently part of our application, but that's something they had asked for. So when do you send out the applications, Heather? I think we've got a pretty short window.
Yeah, so trash haulers are due, I believe the beginning of the year, if not it's December. I have to double check because I just checked because I was looking for tobacco too, because those are due soon. So I think I
Yeah.
pretty much send them out within a few weeks of each other.
Yeah, I
If there's
think they're calendar year.
modifications, yeah, if there's modifications that you guys want to do to the application, that's not a big deal. That's just a Word document that I can just add items to, and you guys can review it and say, yeah, that looks good. And I can make sure everything all set and ready to go and send to the haulers after the next meeting. And then just if the application wants to get changed, I can just do that and send them all right after the meeting that following Tuesday. So that's not a life or death thing. If you want to change the application, that should be pretty easy.
Yeah, we set up the regulation that way so that the application was something that's just kind of managed by Board of Health. So you're right, Heather, we wouldn't like have to have any kind of a hearing or send a revised regulation in, you know, to the state to have them, whatever they do, affirm it or whatever. So if we're only changing the application and not the regulation, you could do that as a quick change.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick change. And oddly enough, it's the same application that I used when I was in Lancaster.
Okay. I'll put that in the email to Bridget that I think at this point, just because of timing, we should look at this as like a two-phase project. Is there anything critical that we want to change in the application? Because I think that's, from a practical standpoint, that's the only thing we could change at this point to have it come into effect next year. And then is there a second set of things that we may want to look at as longer term improvements or, you know, ways that we could shore it up or address problems that maybe Neshoba has seen? I don't think we have had, correct me if I'm wrong, Heather, but I don't think we've had any complaints about in the town of Ayer about trash haulers like made directly to the
No,
town.
I've never had any complaints. I know I have in other towns, and it was more or less just, you know, broken glass probably when they crushed it. So it never anything been a big deal. I've never had any complaints here. The only complaints we do have, obviously, that we all know, is about the trash containers. But again, like we all said, they got to go somewhere, and it's better to be picked up than piled up on someone's property, collecting rats and raccoons and other things. So no, I've never had any complaints about any trash haulers. They're all pretty good, I have to say, as far as like getting this stuff in.
Okay.
So,
all right, I'll
Pam?
follow up on that then.
Yeah, do you mind following up with Bridget and with Lori in terms of what is needed for the points versus what would be nice?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you mind doing that, or?
Yep, no, I can do that. I can do that because I started.
Okay.
I think another option might be somebody else who's very up on this stuff is Mac Wetzel. So
Pam, do you want me to send you a copy? Do you want me to send you a copy of the application too, so you can review that and send that along with them so they can see if there's anything they want to? Okay.
Yeah. Send me.
I think it might be on the town's website, but I'll email it to you tomorrow so you have it in a Word document too.
Yeah, I think it is on the website too, but just to make sure I have the absolute current thing, that would be great.
Hey, Heather, can you send a copy to Trish and to me as well?
Sure can.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Pam, how long do we have Mark Wetzel? Is he till the end of the year, or?
I'm not sure if it's calendar. I thought it was going to be fiscal year, but I'm beginning to think it might be calendar year.
Well, I had seen where they were putting out, you know, applications for it. So I just wondered how long. Heather, do you know?
I'm sorry, what was
For
that?
Mark Wetzel's retirement, how long do we have him if we'd like to pick his brain
Oh,
on? some
I
things?
believe it's till the end of the fiscal year.
July.
And I believe that goes with some of the other people in town hall. But
Okay.
again, I don't know
Oh,
the contract. I think the selectmen may have entered in a contract with him, and usually those things go on the town's website, so I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 90% sure it's the fiscal year.
Okay,
okay. Okay, so it's at least the rest of the calendar year.
Yes, oh, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I can do that. It's not a problem, Steve.
Okay,
I'll
thank you.
follow up. And so I'll make a point of kind of focusing on, is there anything that we really have to address immediately for it to come into effect for the 2022 permits?
right.
And then the rest of it, we can break into a separate category.
Yep. But I like the idea about the application. You can include whatever on it now, and
Yeah.
that'd be good. Okay. Anything else on solid waste?
I think that we're still, I just kind of want to confirm general approach with that regulation. Are we still kind of a mind that, at least as a board, I think we are, that the intent of that regulation is to focus on trash haulers and what their behavior should be in getting their, getting them permits so that we know that they have met certain requirements, that they have insurance, that they understand what our regulations are for, you can't be driving through town dropping trash all over the place. They were never originally intended to go after the behavior of recyclers, residents,
Right.
and tell them that they must recycle. I mean, the
Right.
Mass state law already does that. So are we in agreement with that? We want to keep it targeted to,
I thought that's
Haulers,
where
yeah.
we had left it.
okay,
The
I
last
think so too.
discussion on
I
it, yeah,
I think that's
just wanted to
perfect.
do a last confirmation.
yeah.
No, that
Okay.
sounds good.
All right, I'm on it.
Okay,
you.
the next two items on the agenda, we're going to have to postpone. Bridget had a last minute emergency that she had to attend to. She called me. She will be submitting a report for the three of us to review. But if we can hold off on the COVID discussion and the Neshoba update, unless there's something that either of you have that you want to bring up.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, she did relay that there were some inspections of different food establishments, and they all went very well. She also mentioned to me that they've hired a new sanitation officer who is just out of college, who's going to be working in coordination with them.
Oh,
I believe
great.
he started this week. And Neshoba has hired a public information person to put out notices, and there will be a notice coming out about COVID, which will be a joint notice from the Neshoba Board of Health and the Ayer Board of Health, which I believe is going to be a public service announcement to the residents of the town of Ayer.
Yeah, we had talked about that.
Okay. So other than that,
Steve, is
anything
this-
else?
Yeah, is this the right place to kind of bring up just general Neshoba related questions? Because one thing I was
Absolutely.
thinking about that I kind of wanted to throw out there to you, and I don't think I have a firm position or idea on it one way or the other. It's just kind of food for thought. I've been reading a lot in the news, hearing, seeing, reading, that there's this mental health crisis that's been exacerbated by COVID and the fact that people can't get counselors. They can't find people that will take them. And then insurance is, oftentimes an issue. So is that, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that rises to the level of a kind of an unmet public health need possibly in town? Is it something we should look into more? Or even just ask if Neshoba has any, what are your thoughts? What are Neshoba's thoughts on it? I don't know what we could do, but.
I know there was a conversation about this regarding one of the other towns in Neshoba, and I believe it was Lancaster. that they were they were very concerned about that.
Mm, Okay.
I think it's a good point, and maybe it's something, do you want me to follow up with Jim on? I can do that and report back at the next meeting.
well, I mean, what do you think? What do you think, Trish? Is it?
I
Something
agree
to
with you,
pursue?
Pam. I think that those numbers are high,
Yeah,
given the fact, I mean, there was data supporting students in school, young
Mhm.
kids, high school kids, having lots of problems.
yeah.
It's across the board. I guess that the new person that's coming on board, you said was a public
Public
affairs type,
information.
public information person.
Yep.
That wouldn't necessarily be someone that would find any information on that. I know that the schools had put out, they do at my school too, different listings and resources for people to check out and try to match insurances. And I can look into the one
Okay.
that they had offered through Ayer, the Ayer Public Schools. I mean, it wasn't just for the school employees and the students.
Yeah.
It was, and that was, I think, 2 years ago they had, and I noticed the same name came up again.
But I can-
It might not fall that far outside of the new Neshoba persons. I mean, if there are some resources that maybe people aren't aware of or don't have access to, and we can identify them,
And-
maybe that could be.
And Tamara might have, don't we have 2 nurses now? Or,
Yes, I think Tamara is still Ayer's primary person, but I
Right.
believe you're right, that there are now 2.
I'll follow up with Jim in terms of what the demand is and what they're
Okay.
seeing and what they're hearing. And I know that they had a real hard time. They had a counselor that they really liked, but I think that the market is very slim.
Yeah.
But I'll talk
Yeah.
to Jim and then I'll follow up with you guys in terms of where we are. And, if there's a public information officer that can put out resources to people, that's a good start, I think, right there. That's a good
Yeah.
point, Pam. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
I'll follow up with Jim tomorrow.
okay.
great, thanks.
And
It sounds
I'll
like a
try
plan.
and find that information that had been listed on our on my website at school and the one in Ayer. It's not coming out. It's in here. William.
That's okay.
William James Interfacer. It had a list of different areas and towns and counselors. I'll find it.
That
Okay.
sounds like it could be pretty useful. And that's gonna be an awful position to be at the point where you
Yeah.
need help and you're ready to get it. But then you hit a block because you can't find anyone available to give you that help.
And
Yep.
you can't
That's a
find
lot.
anyone. And when you do find somebody, if you have mass health, they don't take it.
Right,
That's
right.
that's always been a big one with these social
Yeah.
services. So,
Yeah, I know, that's a problem.
yeah.
Okay, well, if there's
Okay.
anything we can do along those lines, it'd be worthwhile, I guess.
I'll report back to you.
Okay,
I understand that Pace is going to be meeting with the selectmen or is on the selectmen's agenda. Is that correct?
yeah. There was an email that they are on.
Is it Wednesday?
I believe it's the 2nd. Let me just make sure I have the right date. I think they're on November 2nd. Yes, they are.
Okay.
Okay.
And
That's a Tuesday.
is there interest in one of us participating in that meeting or attending that meeting via Zoom or however it's going to be held?
I could do that. I know that Laurie has wanted to come before Board of Health again to kind
Yes.
of resume.
Yeah, Lori
discussions.
reached out to me and asked to come back to a meeting, which I was going to discuss when you got to like the next meeting items. And I told her I'd discuss it with you guys tonight, which meeting would be better if you wanted to come back the first one in November or the second meeting in November. It's entirely up to you. She said she's free for either one, and that would have Silent Springs.
Okay.
Back and give
What
an
are
update.
our November dates, Heather, for meeting?
Our November date, hold on, I gotta pull my calendar up.
Mhm. Yeah, we always have to do some dancing around with dates when we get into that October, November.
So they are the 8th and the 22nd.
Okay.
And the 22nd is Thanksgiving week, just so you know.
Yeah, that's the one that we sometimes cancel, sometimes have, depending on action items.
Well, I think the 8th may be occupied with our preparation for the hearing
Yeah,
on the 10th.
Mm,
the
That's a
10th,
good point.
8th, 10th, and 22nd.
I don't mind
So-
contacting Lori Nearing and
Okay.
offering to attend, maybe not the entire selectmen's meeting, because those can be a haul, but the piece that is going to involve case, so that we have a board member that's, hearing the same things that select board is.
I think that's great.
And then I can discuss with her, does she want to give essentially that same presentation to us? Does it need to be targeted any differently? What it sounds like is the project is gathering steam again. So they're
Yeah.
actually going to be able to start enrolling volunteers.
Okay.
So
Could,
I'll
could,
check that out.
Pam, if you're going to talk to her, could you ask her for a synopsis of what she plans on discussing or what she wanted to discuss with the board?
Yep.
At least we would have some framework to understand before she got there.
Sure. Yep,
Great.
absolutely.
Okay. Excellent. I guess that brings us down to administrative matters. Is there any mail?
Do you want to do
Um,
minutes?
Well, yeah,
Do-
we can back
oh,
up. We can do.
I
we
don't
can do
care.
the
I don't care
minutes.
what order. It's
Well,
just,
no, let's back up. We have the minutes of September 27th. And did anyone have any changes, additions, or deletions to the minutes as presented?
I had nothing major. There's
No.
just a couple of typos, but they're sneaky, Heather. They're like
Yeah,
things that are real words, so spell check. doesn't
yeah,
pick it
so
up.
I typed those minutes while I was listening to the meeting because I remember I wasn't there, and sometimes that'll happen, so I apologize. I'll just double check them real quick
Yeah,
and make sure
it
that.
was
I'll-
nothing earth shattering. I mean,
Yeah,
you could
I'll
easily
just
figure
go
out.
through them real quick. If you want to table the minutes, that's fine, or if you want to do them,
Well,
approve them
let's
as.
if it's not substantial, and it's more spelling, because I
Yes.
didn't see anything in terms of the content that I would want changed. I thought the content was pretty well done. And I have to admit,
Yes,
Pam,
yes.
with my poor spelling skills, I probably didn't pick up nearly what you did. So,
Yeah.
but if no one has any changes, then I think we could approve the minutes right now, and any corrections
Yeah.
in grammar or spelling, that can be handled offline. I don't think
Yeah.
we have to
Yeah.
hold up
I
the,
agree.
Yeah, I agree.
okay. Is there a motion then to accept the minutes of the 27th of September?
I'll make a motion to
Yes.
accept the Air Board of Health minutes from September 27th meeting.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second. Yes.
Motion's made in second. Hearing no discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So yeah, if there's any changes in spelling, Pam, if you can get back to Heather with that, that'd be great.
Yeah, actually, Heather, it was like just two stupid words. I think if you
Yeah.
look through it,
Okay, I'll breeze through them real quick, see if I can find them. So
Okay.
my sister's the English teacher. I was the science major, so she picks up on the spelling.
Yeah. I know.
So administrative
I'm sorry.
matters, do we have any mail?
I don't believe there was anything earth shattering that came in the mail. Besides, I know the mosquito control reports for the year got dropped off a week or so ago. And there might have been an asbestos report that came in through DEP. All that goes to Neshoba as well.
Okay.
But that, I believe, was it.
Okay. Any bills, Heather?
Nope, no bills.
I think we discussed action items.
Yeah.
Are there any other action items?
No, that was
Okay.
it. You're gonna figure out where to put Lori Nearing.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Okay.
I will make the offer to attend that part of the selectmen's.
I appreciate that, Pam, because I don't get home till after 4. If
That's
it was
not-
if
yeah.
it was an evening meeting, I could, switch out whatever you
I
wanted to
know,
do, but
I know.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not a problem, and I don't mind because that's another one of those loose ends that I started, so
Okay,
seems reasonable. I should clean it up.
thanks.
Sure.
Ju-
no
Just so we're on the same page, there was one other minor item that Bridget mentioned to me is the former gas station, which is across from Alltown,
Yep,
was
Oh, yeah.
purchased and is operating as a business now. And I believe a Title V has to be done regarding the on-site septic system, which is a requirement.
Mhm.
So she was notifying the owner that he does have to do a Title V. But that was just as a point of information.
That makes
Okay.
sense, because she has to issue it's pre-packaged food, right? I think
A what?
I'm thinking about what, license they're gonna need from Board of Health, because I think they're only selling prepackaged honey.
Right.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
but-
So
But
she
the
has
sep-
to also give them, I guess,
Yeah.
they're gonna need a permit for a
There's
sale
no
of
whole
packaged
bunch
food.
going on with that property right now. Bridget's whole part was because there was a sale of the property, the deed changed hands. Anytime there's a sale of a property with the septic on site, needs to have a bio Title V, it's have a sale.
Yeah, yeah, and then it's also, there's a lot going on with that property, because it's on the agenda for town meeting. It's like, one of the lots is zoned residential, and
Yeah.
they want to change it all to commercial, so.
Yep.
Anyone has any questions on that, they can watch the last planning board meeting.
Awesome.
Planning, okay, got it, got it. The most recent one?
Yes, yep, the one that was we just had on the 12th. Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, had that citizen petition public hearing on the agenda, so all that got hashed out at that meeting. If anybody has any questions about that citizen petition rezoning, it's on the planning board's meeting that was just discussed last week, so they can watch that meeting online.
Okay.
Okay, does anyone have anything else? If not, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn the.
Is there a second?
Yep, I'll second that.
Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye. Listen, thank you very much.